Hi, I'm Rod Fauble. I'm reporting here at College America Phoenix campus, and inside I have Linda Bursey meeting with the executive staff at this campus to see what they've changed over the last year to make major improvements at their campus. So let's go inside and check it out.
I'm here this afternoon with Cindy Smith, the Executive Director of College America Phoenix. Hi Cindy, thanks for meeting with us.
Welcome, Linda. We're glad you're here.
One of the things that we've noticed as we reviewed your outcomes from this time last year till now is some really impressive points, one of them being a 29% increase in starts. How has that happened?
Well, we have made some changes at the campus that have impacted our starts. One of the things that we're doing totally different now that we didn't do last year is that we have made the enrollment process a campus-wide event. Everybody is involved, faculty, staff, everybody is involved in getting that student enrolled in school. We're located in an area in Phoenix that is surrounded by lots and lots of our competitors who are teaching very, very similar programs to ours. And on top of that, they're doing that at a lower tuition rate. So, we have all learned that we have this one time to make an impression on this student and make them want to become a member of our family.
And what exactly would you say then your faculty and staff does differently? Do you have an example?
I do. One of the things that comes to mind that we have changed drastically is our tour. We take all new students on a tour of the campus, and obviously that's a time that we want to shine. Every admissions department finds out real quickly who on their faculty and staff are going to be enthusiastic and upbeat and welcoming, and they always want to stop by those places while they're on the tour. I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit this, but at one time we literally had teachers and staff members who might see an admissions person on a tour with an honored guest, and they would literally get up and close their door so that they did not have to interact. And obviously that's not the vibe that we want to give off. I'm very happy to say that that's drastically changed and it doesn't happen anymore. And it doesn't happen because our faculty and staff don't want it to happen anymore. Everybody's changed their attitude and they all understand how important what they do is in the process.
Wonderful. Besides the tour, I noticed a lot of new faces on your team. Tell me a little bit about those changes in the admissions and financial aid departments.
We have had some big changes in admissions and in financial aid. As a matter of fact, 9 out of the 12 employees in those departments are brand new. They're less than a year old here at the campus. So that's been a big change. It's been a challenge to get all of those folks trained, but we have been able to do that. And I think we see this as an opportunity to instill our core values with these new folks and to move forward with what with the things that we're thinking important and show them that teamwork is a big deal here.
I can see how that would help. So would you say that these revamped tours and the new staff would also be a reason for your 25% increase in end of mod enrollments?
Admissions is a big part of that, but it's only one part. Another thing that we have seen a big change in, and we've really worked hard to make those changes, is in our course completion. We have increased our course completion by 1%. Now, I know when you hear 1%, that doesn't sound very impressive, but we've raised that from a 95% course completion rate to a 96% course completion rate. And that's a drastic step. We always had a process that we went through to make those things happen, but what we've done now is heighten all of that. Everybody's involved at getting these students through their classes and making sure that everybody is successful.
That's great, Cindy. Thank you so much. I'm going to go meet with your Dean of Education now, and maybe she can shed some more light on these processes. Thank you so much for meeting with us.
Thank you.
I'm here now with Bernice. She's the Assistant Director of Admissions here at College America Phoenix. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us, Bernice. Cindy had mentioned that you guys have changed the method in which you do the campus tours, and she said that you'd be able to shed some light onto what exactly has changed.
Yes, the entire tour has actually changed. We are welcomed more and more by instructors that go above and beyond to make our honored guests feel welcome. I mean, there's not a single tour where we don't go and meet with one of the instructors to where they will actually answer questions and interact with our honored guests. So none of our honored guests actually leave with any questions unanswered. We try to take them throughout the tour where we see more activity going on. So if we see an instructor sitting by our students and they're getting additional tutoring, we try to make it a point to actually stop by and let them see that.
So you think this actually has helped with as far as the new students getting a better feel for what it's like on the campus?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Bernice.
Thank you.
I'm here now with the Dean of Education, Melanie Schmidt. Melanie, thank you for spending a few minutes with me today.
You're very welcome, Linda.
I've spoken with some of the rest of your team, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what you've implemented that has helped your course completion rate. For example, when I found out that your already fantastic 95% course completion rate had jumped to 96% this year, I want to know more about it. I mean, are you proud of that 1%?
Absolutely, I'm proud of it. Although it seems like only 1%, it was much more difficult than it seems to be. We had to take a look at our at-risk procedures, which we were already doing, but we felt that we had to do something in addition to make it a little bit better, to use what we were currently using and add something to it.
When you say at-risk procedure, for those of us who don't know what that means, like who's involved in this? What does it entail?
The at-risk procedure we have been using, like I said, for a while now. Currently, everybody who is involved is student services, the registrar, the tutors, myself, the associate deans. We're all involved in making sure we meet every week, and we make sure we look at a list of students that are not doing well in class. We make sure that if a student is failing, they're followed up with by a member of the team. Somebody looks at them and makes sure that they're doing what they need to do.
So how do you determine who's failing? Like, to you, what is a failure? Is there a metric?
Well, usually we look at 70% or lower in this case, and it's not necessarily an F, but it may be putting them at risk of failing if they miss a final or they miss something else.
Wow. Are there any other trends or statistical information you look at? Like, what if a class, for example, has an exceptionally high number of fails, so to speak, as you said? Is there anything else you do to try to be proactive?
Yes, we do. In fact, when we see that there's a large number of students that are not doing well in a class, some may be failing, some may have lower than 70%, we look at the teacher. The associate deans will meet with the teacher, and they'll make sure that the teacher is motivating, they make sure that the teacher is engaging, and they also make sure that the teacher is held responsible for that student, and knowing that if the student fails, the teacher fails as well.
Wow. And where do absences fall in here? I noticed in your office when I was in there earlier for the tour that you had something called a 14-day report on your desk. Can you shed some light onto what that report is and how you use it?
Yes, a 14-day report is if a student does not show up within 14 days, as most people know, they are dropped from the program. Well, we look at that report on day one, the first day of a student's absence, and we try to get in touch with that student through the telephone calls, through emails, Facebook, text messages, any way that we can get a hold of that student. We make notes in Diamond D so that every person on campus knows who has tried to contact that student and what has happened.
You know, I can see now why your course completion is as fantastic as it is. You know, I congratulate you, Melanie, for what you're doing here at the campus. It sounds wonderful. Cindy really did mention a lot of this, but now after speaking with you, I can see how that actually comes from the top down, and really everybody seems to have their hand in it. So thank you, Mel, for taking a few minutes to meet with us, you've really shed some light on what Phoenix is doing fantastic.
Thank you very much, Linda.
Thank you. I'm here now with David, who's the Director of Admissions at the Phoenix campus. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us, David. One of the things I noticed at your campus is that you have had an impressive 60% increase in campus-generated interviews since this time last year. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's simple. We really focused on the basics, and we've created a great sense of urgency when it comes to asking for referrals. The referrals are very easy to get. They're a very great source. A lot of them will enroll, and they're the least expensive type of lead for the company. So by focusing it on a daily basis, holding the team members accountable, and making a clear-cut team goal, we've had significant increases in our CGI performance.
David, you say a sense of urgency. Can you explain more? How do you create that? I mean, what does that mean to you?
It means it's a top-down approach. The upper management have to have the vision on what's critical for the business, and then they have to trickle that down to the people that really are going to generate that business. And it's making it a goal, it's making it very visual, and making it very important and very urgent.
You said to me earlier when we were off camera that it's all about going back to basics. What does that mean?
Going back to basics is really identifying opportunities where they're available. The family members and the resources that we have to go out and reach out to students are in our presence every single day. Simply by asking friends, family members, boyfriends, spouses to come to the appointments, to meet us, to come down and be involved with us. It's really a frontline, fun, friendly environment where we relate to people and speak to them in a language that they can really understand.
I was hearing some of the students talk about a Student Appreciation Day you'd had recently. How did you incorporate getting CGIs at this sort of event? Give us some ideas.
Sure, we had a really fun carnival type of an event. We invited students to come in, and if they brought a referral, we had one of those prize wheels that had some really terrific prizes on there. And if they brought a referral into the campus with them, they got an opportunity to spin that wheel. So we like to go back to basics by having fun, by being engaging, and challenge our students to come and have a good time while we try to meet our goals.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I also heard that there was a push for something, and I want you to explain it better to me. Feeding the strong. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, actually, our owner, Mr. Carl Barney, talked about being in a basketball game. If you had Michael Jordan on the court, you would probably want him to take the last shot or the most important shot. So we've identified our strongest team members, those with the best ability to get students to see the value in our school and see our value in an education. We want those individuals working with the most students. So our strongest people get the most opportunities to work with our honored guests in order to have the best chance for them to enroll.
David, that makes perfect sense. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule to talk with us.
Thank you.
Great information, Linda. Let's recap that interview. College America Phoenix campus increased their starts by 29%, and they did this by getting the entire campus involved in the admissions process. They changed the campus tour to make it more inviting and ramped up both financial aid and admissions department. Second, they increased the end of the module number by 25%, and they did this by keeping a closer eye on the daily students' performance through weekly at-risk meetings and holding their instructors accountable for their students' success. And finally, the Phoenix campus increased their CGIs by 60%. How do you make that happen? Increasing a sense of urgency and letting people know what to expect from them and holding your team accountable. Great information. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Phoenix campus. Back to you, Eric.